I saw in terms of like transfer rumors, the Turkish Wall could be on its way back to the Premier League.
How? Who's cited? You
How?
shy.
Yeah, you may remember him from such disasters as Liverpool last season and Turkey at the Euros. Apparently, Norwich, after conceding a rake goal, decided that he'd be the man to stop the goals coming in.
No wonder they go down every year.
They do so well in the Championship. They look like, Norwich is a well-run club, and they get the Premier League and just completely shit the bed every time.
And then they're replaced by Fulham the year after, and so
West Brom after that. Big Sam makes an appearance some stage during the season. Yeah, it is probably semi-scripted, the Premier League, isn't it? Sometimes.
I don't know if you saw Arteta had apparently 5 games to save his job before the last one. But like, what does that mean? If he wins 1 game, does he have to lose 5 in a row?
That means there's a slow news day and someone in the paper, what would be good if I just like put out there?
Yeah.
Because at different points, it seemed like, he can't have many games left.
Yeah.
And I think he has 5 games left. And I'm going to print that. But like, that clearly he was never under any danger
What
at
kind
all.
of business would be run like you have 15 more points to lose potentially?
Yeah. Like, you have 1 more chance. I'm giving you 5 more chances. And if you mess up 5 more times.
It's so unclear as well. Like, does he have to lose all 5? Does he have to lose like the majority? What if he wins 4 but loses the easy one?
Yeah, if he draws 2, loses 1, and wins, and wins the other ones. It's like, well,
that's it. Last straw. You have 8 more games, and then that's it.
Yeah, is there a winning? Can you cash in your wins for more games?
Yeah.
And draw half a game? Do you get sacked at half time? Like, it makes it's just a total newspaper bullshit. Like, probably 5 more games and then he's sacked. Like, no.
No, honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense. But listen, I've been on that road before.
Nonsense. Talking nonsense. Why should we accept somebody talking nonsense? Like, what would you say? Just why are you talking nonsense about us? Why are you talking rubbish?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a No Nonsense podcast with Cahill and Will. We are back again after a week off. Just some scheduling issues. I was meeting investors for the podcast to raise money for the show in the form of a wage for doing something else. That's what I said in interviews. I was like, why do you want the job? I'm like, and then the No Nonsense team started playing my head. And then they go, Carl. I'm like, oh, sorry, you might say about the funds? That was 10 minutes ago. No, but it was just one of those things we couldn't get it going, and there was a few stories that we missed, but
not major.
There was a few major ones, sure, but we'll get them. We will get them, and look, it's not.
Well, look, I had an extremely busy week trying to represent our unpaid intern Kylian Mbappe.
Yeah.
He's trying to get a job as well. That's
that was part of it. That was part of it, and I get it. He hasn't been, completely focused on this job, but he's got other things going on. But it's been nightmare here at the No Nonsense Studios.
It's a nightmare up here on top of the foundry.
The highest podcasting point in Carrowtown. The big news that we didn't miss. I mean, we saw. We just didn't talk about it. The Ronaldo move seemed to come from nowhere, really. That it was last season that it was like, if they don't get in Champions League, he's going to leave and all this.
Yeah. And
then they did. Last day they got in, and it was like, it's fine. And then they kind of focused on the Euros, I suppose. And it wasn't like immediately after the Euros, then it was like, right, now we got to sort out this Juve situation. It was like last minute, it was like, oh no, we're not going to win anything here. Like, it was a slow realization, like, oh no, this isn't going to work. Can't do it here. Which, it's always fascinating about Ronaldo. Like, he's not like 36. He's like, look, I might win the Champions League this year, but I'm just gonna settle here. Like, it is what it is. I'm gonna do a couple more years here of the contract, go back to Sporting. No, that's not how he does it. No chance. He's like, every single year I have to try and win. And if I can't do that here, then I'm going somewhere else.
I think we had actually talked about it in real life last week off the pod.
Yeah.
Because it came out that he was looking to leave. And we were talking about, like, he's probably jealous of Messi and all the attention. He's like, I want some of that. And I think we were talking about, like, where would he go? And I said the only club that'd be dumb enough to just buy him without thinking is Man United. It always is. There's no way they were going to let that slip. This is the third. I think he's the third player that City wanted and United signed a day later that they had no intention of signing before City wanted them. So I don't know. Like,
well, this is, it was strange. It was like he was going to City because we talk about that as well. That's like there's so few clubs now around with A, they might spend, or B, and or willing to spend that money on a whim. And like, all the kind of, I was talking about Moneyball stuff, just kind of like prudent spending of like, if he's over 25, statistically he'll only have so many years left, all that kind of statistics, and so that does add up in the long term. Signing a 36-year-old, I think Klopp said it's not a sign for the future. That's what every club seems to be now. It's like all about signing for the future. He's over 30, 1-year contracts only, that kind of stuff. So it's really, out of left field, this Ronaldo signing. But it is what I was saying about when Messi came up on a free. It's like, surely everybody should have been trying to get that signing.
Have to scramble. He was top scorer in Serie A last year. And Chelsea just bought Lukaku for like 120 million because he was level with Ronaldo last year.
Yeah. And I think maybe Messi was like, nah, Messi's never leaving. And then until like the day he signed, the look was like, he's going to PSG again. Heard that one before, lads. Whereas Ronaldo says he's leaving. He's out there. But he left it so late. There was less of a scramble. Like if they hadn't signed Lukaku, Chelsea would have fucking tried that too.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I mean, the story is that City wanted him on a free.
They refused to pay money for him, which is just a bit cheeky, to be honest. Like City as well, of all clubs, being like, oh no,
we'll take him off your hands. It's like literally like those lads on tour, like, we take him,
Yeah.
But then they got an offer of 15 million plus 8 million add-ons from United. And I mean, Juve obviously need the money, like all the Italian clubs seemingly. Because recently, I was saying as well that they signed Locatelli, star of the Italian group stages of the Euros. I don't think they played much after that. They signed him from Sassuolo on loan for 2 years. Which is like such a weird, like, cooking of the books type thing of like, no, we didn't buy anybody, we didn't spend any money, like we just got them on loan for 2 years. It's a weird thing. So Juve are a bit kind of cash strapped themselves. So we're getting Ronaldo for 20 plus million. Didn't even get anything for him at 36 years of age. City, like, you don't get Kane obviously, then you don't get Ronaldo. They're still scoring 10 goals in 2 games. Now, admittedly, against weak opposition. But my prediction for City win the league is I'm pretty confident now. I'm feeling good, especially after Chelsea's draw against Liverpool. I think City will win the league. I think I was right about that. Just like last year, I was right about that, Will.
And I don't know if you saw that immediately United are scrambling to sell players now because Ronaldo's in. So it's like, okay, well, that means Martial is going to drop to the bench. And if Martial is dropping to the bench, then James has to go. But if James has to go, then someone else. So like immediately they're in panic mode now of like, we have too many players. So now they're going to, I would say, rip apart the squad. That's pretty good. Like to like slot in a player who's going to be gone very quick, I'd say. No matter how good he is there. He's not going to stick around. Like.
Well, that's what we were saying about City and Chelsea last year, that their strength was the squad they had. Now, it was a very truncated season last season, so you maybe needed that more. But you'll always need a squad of players if you're playing in the 4 competitions of Champions League and 2 cups. Like, there will be someone injured at some stage, and it's about, are you bringing in someone of a similar quality to play that game? Ronaldo, obviously, you say you have Ronaldo and Cavani as the 2 strikers. I mean, Greenwood was playing a bit up front. I think that's probably over now for poor. Everyone keeps saying, but he's going to learn so much. He's got like I just picture Greenwood like with a little copybook, like watching Ronaldo and training. Like, I mean,
he's not going to learn more than playing.
Yeah, like I mean, yes, there is standards and there is like professionalism and all that kind of stuff that he will learn from like Ronaldo.
Yeah.
But like, really, you know,
Yeah.
there is a limit to how much value that actually has versus playing games and improving. And, like
Yeah.
I know he's only 18, 19, so you wouldn't be expecting him to, I don't know, be scoring 30 goals this season. But like, it just feels a bit kind of unnecessary to get Ronaldo in when you had Cavani and
Yeah.
Greenwood. You had
There's bigger problems in the squad than like they've no problem scoring goals.
yeah,
It's keeping the ball and stopping the ball going into the net is their problem usually. And like Varane obviously is a big help with that. But I don't know, the midfield looked fucking shit against Wolves. There was no one there.
Well, I mean, last week, which we missed, they obviously drew with Southampton.
A team they beat 9-0 last season.
Yeah, well, unlike Leeds, they tried something different, which worked pretty well. Big improvement for Southampton.
No one sent off within 10 seconds.
Yeah,
that was a big help.
That was like the main thing that they were thinking about. Don't want to get sent off straight away. And now Southampton were at home as well. I think that last year was in Old Trafford as well. So I mean,
yeah.
And you had the Southampton fans. Like the fans do make a difference. They really do.
Oh yeah.
But all that aside, they played another game against Wolves, and again, like Cavani didn't start, so when you're playing Greenwood up front, like it's counter attack or nothing seemingly with Dolly.
Yeah.
I do think they're wasting time not sacking Ollie.
Yeah.
I think that team is too good now to be like, oh no, they're getting like the team. Like the thing is, like he couldn't go to other places, right? But when you think of like he was leaving Juve because he couldn't win the Champions League.
Yeah.
Or he didn't think that they would win the league. He didn't think he'd compete at the highest level with that team. And you think back to like say 2015 or around that time when he turned 30. Because back then it's like, well, how much longer can he go on? You know, he's going to start slowing down now. That's when the rumors first started he's going to leave Real Madrid.
Yeah.
And he only went to, he was never going to go to United at that point. Like this is the first time since then that they have a team that you would say, well, that could go to quarterfinals of Champions League.
Yeah.
You know, without Ronaldo. Now, potentially, I'm not saying that they definitely will. But
player-wise,
player-wise, squad-wise, this is the first time they've had a team good enough that would actually compete. And then with Ronaldo, you think, well, at least get by quarterfinals, semi-finals, you know, and then from there, who knows? So, you have that team, but then you have, you know, all the other managers previously, like Louis van Gaal and Mourinho. You know, the good managers aren't there anymore. Now it's, you know, Solskjaer. So you had good managers, the bad team, I'm trying to say. Now you have a kind of a not proved manager with the best team they've had in a long time.
Yeah. And I think he deserves credit for like building the squad and getting it to that point. But I think in games is where he obviously lacks. He seems excellent at everything apart from during the games and winning the things, which is like, that is what you need. Once the team is built, then you have to take the next step. Like,
yeah, I think end of this season, you know, if it's it's not
after you're not signing Ronaldo to not win things, like I think this is his last chance, and I'd say he's fucking raging because he's had done nothing wrong really, but now it's like we got your Ronaldo. I'd say there was a part of him that was like, oh fuck, I have to win everything.
Yeah, no, I think it's like because it's. For a long time, it's like, oh, United are a terrible team, of a crap team. It's like it's a slow kind of progression into a decent team. So it's still kind of like, oh, well, sure, you can only do what the players he has. Then you take a step back. Oh, actually, there's a pretty good squad there. Yeah. Now, like the excuses aren't really the same. It's like, oh, well, they're not as good as they're not as good as City or Chelsea, sure, but like it's not a million miles off either.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. We'll see. I was just after watching the Wolves game and watching that, you know, their poor midfield and they didn't seem to have any kind of plan on how to break Wolves down. It was like, this guy doesn't have a plan B. This guy has a fucking clue here. Like you can bring on Ronaldo, you can bring on whoever you want, and they brought on Cavani, but still didn't seem like there was any kind of way.
But he does get saved a lot by. And it's kind of a cop-out to say, like, oh, he's saved by how, like, brilliance from, like, Bruno or players. Because obviously he signed the players and stuff.
Well, Woodward signed the players, Will. That's not, you know. Well, don't forget Ed Woodward and all this. Is he still there now or is he gone?
I think he's gone now. I think he was there for the summer. But he wasn't in charge of transfers. John Murtaugh, that new guy.
Oh, yeah.
He seems good. He signed fucking 3 really good players, so...
Yeah. Well, this is
pretty quickly. There was no sagas, which was nice.
No, and this is why you can't give much any credit to Solskjaer either. Like he's not making transfers. He's literally the coach, and they can beat teams 6-0 on the counter attack. But that's it.
Yeah.
If you sit in front, it's like, well, what's the plan now? It's like, oh fuck, I don't know.
See, like I'm guessing once Ronaldo's in, the idea is he's just going to be a magnet for defenders. Like, so I think that will open up things a bit more when you're playing against teams like that. If you have Sancho and then whoever, Greenwood or Rashford as well. And it might be a bit easier, but yeah, I don't know. The Wolves game, because it was even the Southampton game as well. It's always the same with United. Win 4-0 first day of the season and then immediately be like, oh no, we're not winning it this year. I forgot about all of the problems.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like it could be a waste opportunity. I mean, we'll see how Ronaldo does. It's a lot of talk. Obviously, is like, oh well, this isn't Ronaldo from 10 years ago. And Sky Sports, I mean, Sky Sports know what they're doing. They keep playing clips from like 2009 of Ronaldo scoring goals because it's just a big fucking nostalgia soup. They're serving up for United fans, which I mean, dead right too. But I mean, they're showing clips of him playing with like no one else in the clip is still playing anymore. Like, you know, he was young then, and now he's 37. Like it's a completely different time, different player doesn't play the same way. You know, if he comes in and starts banging in goals, and all the defenders are drawn to him, and everyone else starts playing well, and they're under less pressure in the middle, all that stuff. I don't know. I just think you need a manager who's used to playing with every sitting behind the ball, because that's what United will dominate possession against most teams in the Premier League. So you need to be able to break that down. I don't know if they have that. Even with Ronaldo, I don't think it's down to Ronaldo. I think it's down to how you set up your team and how you break down those kind of defenses. And I don't think Solskjaer has that. But look, this could be the year he proves you wrong.
Yeah. That League Cup is coming, maybe.
Yeah. Breaks these dominance in the League Cup, maybe. I suppose, speaking of City, back-to-back 5-0s. First against Norwich last week, which we missed. I mean, poor Norwich. I mean, we had Liverpool first, which they always did. And then not only did they have City second, they had City after losing to Spurs. Angry City.
Yeah.
The last 5-0. And this is all in the midst of the Harry Kane stuff, which we'll get to in a bit. But I mean, he obviously didn't go. And they're back on it again. 5-0 against Arsenal. Arsenal, worst start. This happens a lot with Arsenal. It's the worst start since X years. That's kind of a streak in itself. Worst start since 1953 or some shit. And it's our boy, our hero of the Euros, Granit Xhaka, who really leaves his team high and dry. 2-0 down and decides, fuck it, you're on your own, pal. I'm going to get sent off here now. Needlessly 2 foots. And then it's like, what? You can't do 2 foots anymore. Whoa, I didn't know this. What?
Game is gone.
Like, that has been a rule forever. 2 foot. You can't go 2 foot in. Like,
you can't come flying in the air.
Off the ground. No, you can't. Like, everyone knows that. Like, so it's like, you're just a fucking wanker, man. Like, you are just, you really fucked your everyone over here by doing that. Because, like, it's not doing it. You didn't take anybody out. You just,
Yeah.
And sure, then that was 2-0 already. 5-0. Could have been 6, could have been 7.
Yeah.
I think Arsenal are wasting time with Arteta. This team,
that ship sailed a long time ago, I think.
I mean, they're in relegation now. Arsenal, 3 losses, like I say, worst start since X 20 years. Like, the team isn't that bad. Do you know, we were saying it's not a team's going to compete for the title, obviously, and certainly not the top 4. But I mean, it's not as bad as it is, and you can say same as United. Oh, you just have the players. You can only work the players he has. It's not that bad. You know, you're you're still underperforming those players. They've obviously shown that they can spend money. So I think it is time to try and attract. Like, I think Conte will be perfect, because that goal that Gundogan scored, the header he got over Ben White, that's because it wasn't Ben White. Sorry, it was Holding, I think, or Chambers. You know, like, they had 3 or 4 inches on him. Big, strong lad, but doesn't know where he should be, doesn't know where he should stand, doesn't trust his other. Like, they're not set up well. So you can't say, oh, it's the players, they're too bad. It's like, well, he's taller than him, so like, how's he going to header him? Because they're not set up well. So look, Arteta's experience as being assist manager for Man City. like even if he was manager of Man City, it would be totally different because again they dominate the possession. Like you know, to be at a team who's lower than that, and then to not even ever manage a team, it's insane that he's still as a manager. You know what I mean? Like,
I remember last season he had the run of, was it 10 games in a row without winning or something like that? There was a crazy run where they were in the relegation battle again. If he wasn't sacked then, like, what else does he have to do to be sacked?
That's when he had 5 games to save it. And then I think he lost 5 more for that. I think in the middle of that. I don't know. I just, I don't know, because, like, you know, the Conte one at Inter, it was like, he always falls out with managers. Like, he fell out with the owner, I should say. He fell out with Abramovich for not getting better he wants. He fell out with Juve as well. He had some kind of comment about, you know, you can't, you can't, like if you're shopping at the pound shop, you can't, you know, go with the party or something like some kind of, you know, vague kind of, we don't spend enough money. We're not rich enough to compete with Real Madrid and Barcelona kind of thing. To the fucking billionaire Agnelli family who own you, like, you know, like really, like, oh fuck you, Conte. Like, so you think, oh well, Arteta won't complain because he's happy to be there, but then Arsenal are spending money, but it doesn't have any plans. That doesn't even add up. Like, oh, he's just a yes man who's beat. Like, they are spending money, but Arteta just isn't. You know, involved in those decisions or knows how to use them. It's just a weird kind of he's like a middle management guy who no one even knows even works there kind of thing. But but yet he's front and center. So I don't know. I mean, I wonder how much money he's on. Maybe he's just trying to save money on not, like, Conte would be expensive, you know.
Yeah, and he's like, he'll improve your team, but he's going to be a fucking headache for you to go from.
Yeah.
Arteta, who seems pretty, like, well-mannered and stuff, to a lad who is going to explode every week in the press conference if you don't buy players and if you don't do.
But they are buying players. It's like they're not spending money. You know, I just don't see why they're like. They maybe just really like Arteta. It's like, just like he's their Timo Werner. You know,
who's the like director of football? Isn't it like Edu or someone like that? It's, I think him and Arteta are pals or something. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know. But it seems like it's getting to breaking point now. I mean, you can't continue. Like, look, the international break
saved him.
It saves
Normally,
him.
it's the opposite with other teams, though. Normally, that's like, people say that's the perfect time to sack a manager. 2 weeks or a week off, and then you start fresh.
Yeah. I mean, the perfect time to sack managers when you have someone else to come in, really.
Yeah.
And I don't think that anybody is looking at our job going, oh yeah, that I could save that.
Yeah.
Like, I remember years ago now when Tottenham were in relegation, they brought in Harry Redknapp and they finished 4th.
Yeah.
But, like, Harry Redknapp wasn't, like, that was kind of where he had made his name. Like, oh, he could be a really top manager. Like, before that, he obviously managed, you know, Southampton and other teams, and he was a player, and he was like known as but he wasn't kind of like, oh yeah, he's going to come in and get them out of this. It was like, oh, fucking hell, Harry Redknapp, love Harry Redknapp. And then he did really well, and it was like, oh fuck, this guy is actually really good as well. So I mean, when you're in that situation, it's hard to get someone of a level of a Conte to come in and say, do you want to put your reputation on the line here and maybe finish 9th with this team and go, wow, I'm glad we spent 12 million on Conte a year to fucking, you know, it's all that kind of stuff. So,
and in football, managers go so quick. Like, do you want to go to Arsenal, massive challenge, and then 2 weeks later, say Ancelotti gets sacked from Real Madrid or something? You're like, oh fuck, now I'm stuck here. Like,
yeah, there's a bit of that too. So I don't know. I just think there has to be somebody more experienced than Arteta than getting a team out of the slump and organize the defense. I mean, the defense has been so bad for so long, and you know, yet you go for someone who is assistant to Pep Guardiola. I mean, that's not going to solve your defense. You know, it's just I don't know. City, though, like I say, they're looking good. Start the to win the league again. I think they missed out on Harry Kane. Harry Kane released a statement saying that he was.
I can't believe him.
I mean, look, if you were to know nothing about this, and you're just like, oh, I wonder how the Premier League's going this year. Jeez, top of the league. Oh, they still have Harry Kane. They must be delighted over there. You know what I mean? Like, it all looks great from the outside. They've kept Harry Kane. They're top of the league. I mean, they beat City and all. Fucking hell, they must be flying it this year.
Harry Kane must be buzzing.
I bet he's glad he signed that 6-year contract now. He's thinking, yes, it's finally paying off. But in the shadows, there's a different tale being told. Yeah, he resigned to staying at Tottenham for at least this year, by the statement that he gave.
He didn't. He said, "What were the words he said?" He didn't say year. He left it open to the point where January is an option.
Oh, fuck.
In his words. He was saying like for the time being or something like that.
Yeah, for now. Dot.
Yeah.
I'll be back, maybe. I don't know. It's a very strange transfer window, all in all, with the Ronaldo stuff, with Harry Kane especially. I mean, it's weird that City didn't get him. I mean, even with Daniel Levy, you kind of thought that was going to happen. It was just inevitable.
Yeah.
But it looked like it was nearly over the line, and then your man from Inter, Martinez, had no interest in going to Spurs, I think, or that fell apart, whatever it was.
Yeah.
I'd like to say, you can't be selling a player like that or a sacked manager without a replacement ready to come in.
Yeah.
So that's where it kind of fell down.
Who are you going to replace him? Like, it'll end up like Liverpool, or it'll end up like Barca when you sell someone for a lot of money and then they all of a sudden, like when they sold Neymar, and then they're spending like 120 million on Coutinho, and because you have money and everyone knows it, so you're not going to get any deals.
Yeah. I don't know.
I fucking loved Pep's quote. Did you see that?
No, what was that?
He said, I'll get it up here because I was fucking dying laughing at it. Pep talking about the master negotiator, Daniel Levy. Tottenham did not want to negotiate. The big master of negotiations, Daniel Levy, who knows everything, wouldn't talk.
Damn, sounds like Pep actually did want Harry Kane after all.
Yeah. He knows everything. I bet he was my players.
He was good. I bet he was going to call him a big ball. Oh wait, I'm bald too.
Yeah.
Never mind. Well, he's still an idiot. I still hate him. Yeah, I mean, City are going well. No Kane. Spurs are going well. I mean, they beat Wolves. Who, I mean, a word on Wolves. We talked about them against Man United. 50 shots on targets between two games, no goals. I mean,
they were so unlucky in the United game.
So unlucky.
De Gea did a double save for the first time since 2012.
They lost to Tottenham, Wolves, and United. Tottenham beat them. They beat City obviously the first day. A bit of a shock one, bit of a weird one. Mm-hmm. But they all count. You know, that's when you want to play City, when all their international players aren't back, I suppose. We kind of said they're kind of the 6 or 7 team. Could they do the top 4 this year, Tottenham, if they can get over this Harry Kane flip and just pretend that didn't happen and let's get on with this?
And it's weird because he was playing well in that last game as well. So that is a worry for other teams, that he's just like, I'm back now, and everyone's like, okay, that's fine.
The only thing is, people say like, oh, like that dressing room. I'd be looking at Harry Kane saying, oh, what, he's back now. It's like, they're all the exact same though.
Yeah.
If they were like, City want you, you just have to maybe force a little bit. You're like, yeah, I would definitely do that.
Yeah.
So if Harry Kane, who's much better than you, is doing that as well, like, you're not going to be like, holier than now saying, oh, I would never try and leave Tottenham.
No,
or any club
like,
for that matter.
Fuck, he's still here. We were going to be in real trouble without him.
It's like, if another, I don't know, it's probably not the same thing, but like, if someone that you work with went for an interview somewhere else, and they were, he's going to leave us high and dry now in the fucking, for next week. And then like, oh no, I didn't get it, and he comes back. It's like, well, I'm not working with him because he fucking, disrespected me as a fellow employee. He was going to leave me. It's like, you just have to get on with it. You know what I mean? Like, it is at the end of the day a work for these people. So I mean,
if he scores 1 goal, the fans they're going to be over it. Like, they're not going to be still singing about like, is he watching and all that stuff. Like, if he scores goals when they're top of the league, he gets a pass. Like,
I think that all those players are just kind of like, look, that's what it is. I mean, and I'm sure lots of them were let go at youth level from different clubs, or like, you're not making the academy this time, so like they know what's like on the other end, like where a club would fuck you over as fast as they want to. So I mean, I don't think it's the same kind of thing looking at him like, oh, those lads must be raging. It's like, no, they're not. Like, if he gets back, and as long as he's playing well and he's trying hard this year with Spurs, it's like, well, that's all I can ask. You know, if he
Yeah.
wants to leave, he wants to leave at some point. There's nothing you can do. It's not like, unless he made like promises, like looked me in the eye and said, listen, Eric, Eric Dyer, look at me right now. I am never leaving this club. Don't you ever worry your head about that, okay? Now get out
I
there,
signed
right?
contract. I signed the 6-year contract.
Yeah. I don't think he's made any personal promises like that to players. So
Yeah.
I don't think it matters to them. If they start playing well and they get more wins, I mean, they beat Watford there as well. Tom could challenge this year. I mean, why not?
Yeah. It is the post Mourinho bounce that every
Yeah.
club gets as well. It's just when you're freed of the guy who's like, oh, you hate these people, like they're fucking losers, to a manager who's like, hey, this is a great team. Go out and have fun. Like it makes such a difference every time.
I mean, the Conference League might hamper them as the season goes
Yeah.
on. I don't know.
I'd say they were raging to not get knocked out.
I'm not sure how, because this is the first year, so I'm not sure how stiff the competition will get as it goes on. I mean, the Europa League is a con for that, because like it's grand at the start. You know, it's actually good because you get to run all your players, but like you get to the last 16 and like they're proper games then, and like you're really trying hard on a Thursday night and then playing at the weekend. You're getting injuries and it all falls apart. But yeah, no, I think Tottenham look good. I've been impressed with them. Dele Alli back amongst the goals. Good to see. Chelsea, Liverpool then was the other kind of big game in terms of like title contention. Stalemate. Both teams have looked good. The big one was the sending off for Reece James. Did you see that?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think he had. The uproar was a bit much. He slapped the ball away with his hand.
It's just like, I don't know. It's just kind of things like, oh, you lift your knee, like obviously your arm's going to lift as well naturally. It's like, well, that's a handball. Like we get all into this kind of like, oh, like what am I going to do? Stand there with my arm behind my head so it doesn't hit the ball. It's like, no, like you stand how you know you stand, but if it hits your hand, then it's a handball. Yeah. Sorry,
and
man.
Like whatever if it's like in the middle of a pitch and it's not that important, but like on the fucking line, it doesn't matter. Like
exactly.
Your hands stop the ball going in on the line. You can't do that.
And they're talking about deflect off his leg and then his arm, and the ref said if it deflects off, then it's not a handball. Then it's like, oh my god, like But this is the thing when you're talking about like billions on the line here, billionaire owners, they're not going to take no for an answer. They're like, no. The rule says black and white. So it's just kind of like. It's a game of football at the end of the day. I mean, for us it is. For them, it's their livelihoods. But for us, it's like, I don't care, man. I don't give a shit. Who cares? A handball, hit your hand, it's going in. Like, what more can you say?
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't mean to. Fuck off. And from that point on, then that game was fucking terrible because Chelsea just, the dark arts were back.
Yeah.
Like, that's the kind of dark arts that I guess you can appreciate because it wasn't any kind of actual. Bad stuff. Wasn't any kind of anybody getting hurt. It was just like Chelsea slowing the game down as much as possible, bending those rules to the point of breaking and then stopping. And the game was fucking dead after that. I mean, I think Klopp said like actually it was worse for us that they got sent off because then they weren't coming at us and we couldn't attack them, and it ended 1-1. So it was kind of like more like a win for Chelsea than a win for Liverpool. That one. Because they got out there with a point, which they probably shouldn't have. Liverpool have impressed me. Chelsea not so much actually.
Same as
like Liverpool were good
but
against
Norwich.
Norwich.
It was the same last year. Chelsea didn't really impress me at all the whole season, and then they won the Champions League. So I don't know. They're an odd team.
I think there is still probably holes in that squad for Chelsea. I'm not convinced about the back three. Player. I mean, Rudiger is very good. He has been very good, but I don't know. Liverpool obviously they beat Norwich, and who did they beat last week? That we missed.
Norwich and then
Burnley. So they played Norwich, Burnley, and now Chelsea. Chelsea played fucking Arsenal. Who else? Fucking Crystal Palace 3-0. Like now they have played like tough opposition. I get like say even an Everton or Aston Villa, someone who's like going well, or even West Ham. Like when they play someone like who's somewhat decent, or Tottenham or City, obviously. That's I think when you'll really see. It's obviously early days still.
And I think before the first international break, it's almost like it doesn't. These few games, it doesn't give anything away. Like when people come back from the international break, then it's like, okay, here we go. Now it's time.
Yeah.
Like, no one's injured. We got away with that bit. Now we get on with it properly.
This always feels like kind of a pre-season tournament a little bit.
Yeah,
because like the transfer window isn't closed. Like teams aren't even fucking finalized. They haven't got like that. But with that same with the United, there like they can only register so many players, so they have to sell some of them, or else they'll be in limbo and they can't play. So like after the international break, the squad will be finalized. Everybody who's bought will be brought in. Like say Ronaldo now, he wasn't playing yet. Like it was Rand's first game. Like it feels very pre-seasony.
Yeah.
You know, and when they come back, it's like week 4. All right, let's go. It's like you've already lost fucking 9 points, lads, in Arsenal's case or Wolves' case. You know, it's not unimportant, but it does always feel like, okay, now we're going to start playing. Yeah. like you always say, like last season when United beat Chelsea 4-0. Like had no consequence on it didn't matter the two teams. All. It's so weird, like, because they always say that, like they want that the transfer window should be closed before the league starts, and to make it more kind of important.
Do you remember they tried? I think it was 2 seasons ago. The English league did it, where they closed their window. But what happened was all of the rest of Europe didn't. So it was 2 weeks of all of the other teams in Europe trying to buy their players, but they weren't allowed to replace any of them. Yeah. So they were like, let's never do that
again. But what else do we have then? We had a few score draws then as well. Burnley, Leeds, Villa, Brentford. Some boring ass games there. West Ham. I thought they're going to be back again, but this is the problem with West Ham. They drew 2-2 with Crystal Palace, just gave away 2 goals at home. Antonio is going insane.
Oh man, he's their top scorer in the Premier League era.
Yeah, ever.
That's wild. You wouldn't like. It seems like he's very under the radar all of the time. Like, but he's always banging in goals every year. Like,
I think he got 10 league goals last season and 10 league goals the season before that. And then it's like 3 and 4 and 5. I think it's 50 goals in all competitions for West Ham now. It's like it's a slow kind of he kind of came on the team at like 25. Yeah, and it was like he was kind of like Traore a bit, like kind of a hustling, bustling guy, and kind of refined his game now to a lot more kind of panache. And now he's like that goal he scored where he had the ball, he was running like the old Antonio would have ran down the line the other way and lashed it, and might have gone in, might not. He stops, plays for Fornals, runs again. Fernandez back to him. I mean, it was just a really good finish, but he's not going to be involved in any Gareth Southgate nonsense this year. He's declared for Jamaica, I think. Is it Jamaica?
I think so. Yeah. And I mean, like we've seen, Gareth Southgate has kind of his favourites, and you're not getting in past them.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you? Same with like Wan-Bissaka playing for the Congo, like.
That's the best thing to do is just to fucking No time for this, boys.
I'm not gonna, because otherwise you're gonna end up like Patrick Bamford, just waiting around, never ever gonna get a game for them. Like,
he got his call up now. Like this
doesn't count.
Well, like this is the worst time to get your call up after the last tournament. I mean, I know there's one coming sooner than usual, but still, it's like this is bullshit, man. He should have been playing. But even Dominic Calvert-Lewin playing for Everton, like he's banging goals again. His form has continued. Like barely, he didn't make the squad sometimes at the Euros. And Kane wasn't scoring against anybody other than Ukraine. So I mean, West Ham be delighted, honestly, that they have a player who is banging goals and is not going to be brought on bullshit fucking challenge games to fucking Andorra to not play and be tired and be jet lagged and then have to so West Ham look good. Like I say, they have good like Rice and Fornals. They also just signed Kurt Zuma from Chelsea. Great sign for them. I think Kurt Zuma's pretty decent.
Yeah, I've been impressed with him.
I think he'll definitely improve West Ham and hopefully stop letting in those those goals against Crystal Palace. It was Conor Gallagher got 2. A Chelsea loanee, another fucking Chelsea superstar on loan. I mean, all those.
Their system is mental of just get everyone and then just give them around. And then as well, when like Chelsea play Palace, they can't use him. Like they're not allowed to play him against Chelsea. So you're constantly coming up against teams that don't have their best player.
Well, like they've released a lot of them, and like they have Billy Gilmore's at Norwich. You got Conor Gallagher at Palace. They just sold Giroud, who's banging goals for Milan, and also Fiki Tomori,
Yeah.
playing for AC Milan. He's centre back. Kurt Zouma at West Ham, and like they're still like, yeah, but they could probably win the league. With all these players. We're just like, yeah, they could win the league. So it's insane. The players that they stockpile there. I guess it's good to see them. Other teams benefit from it, but it's insane, really.
Yeah.
So I guess this is the first 3 weeks. So we're into international break now, are we?
International break week now, yeah. There's a week, and then I think there's 2 weeks of Prem, and then another international break.
Right. Well, I think that's enough, data for some absolutes.
Oh yeah, guarantees.
Absolutes, guarantees. What do you see it pan out as now? What's the patterns you're starting to see emerge, if any?
I think Norwich are getting relegated, guaranteed. Easy. I don't know, because I was thinking Liverpool or Chelsea would win the league. I don't think that anymore.
Well, now's your time to change. You're allowed one change in the season. That's a new parameter. Actually, one change in the season. It's like a wild card. You can change it up. No, I think you can make your season prediction at the start, which is fine. It's all just fucking stabbed in the dark. But I mean, Chelsea, I think, were good last season in the Champions League because it was like knockout competitions and they kind of get up for the games. But it's the games against, the Brentford or the Southamptons that you're like, I'm not ready up for this one. It's tough to get up for those ones. And I think City get by them just because the quality of players off the bench and all that stuff. Are you going to stick with Chelsea or what are you thinking?
No, I think I'm going with you. I think Man City are going to win the league. Unfortunately, again at a canter, probably. The usual.
Yeah. I don't remember exactly how I put the top four. I know I said City top after initially going to Chelsea.
You said United fourth.
Yeah. Well, that was just because I thought, will they be better than City and Chelsea all season?
Yeah, that's fair.
And I thought, well, if not, then the third. And then I thought Liverpool, if they're back playing well with Van Dijk, which they seem to be, then it's kind of a toss-up. So I think...
If United finish fourth, Ronaldo is going to shoot himself in the head.
Well, I don't think he'll shoot himself. I think he'll... I don't think Kane said that at half-time the Wolves game. He's like, I hasn't seen this if he pull out a deal. So, yeah, well, this is the thing. I think Liverpool are good. Chelsea are still good, obviously, as well. It's not like, Chelsea are not the team I thought they were. They're still good.
No, yeah.
City are obviously fucking still savage as well. And, De Bruyne probably isn't 100% back. Grealish has made a good start, which is key as, a new sign to get a couple of goals against City teams. Because that sets you off on the right path. Yeah. I think Liverpool, Chelsea, United could finish second or fourth. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think it's
a much more interesting season than the last few years have been.
Yeah,
because now it's kind of like there's a few horses in the race where there was a while there where it was just shite. It was just City, Liverpool, one or the other. That'd be it. But
I think that could be any three of them could be. So I think I'll probably just stick with. I think I said City, Chelsea, Liverpool, United. I think, that's probably as good a guess as there is. Tottenham, who I was talking up, said they could challenge. I mean, why not? Is because of all the other years I've seen them not challenge.
Yeah.
Last year, even, they started well and fell away. Yeah. And I don't think they have the squad that the other teams have.
Yeah.
I know the Conference League is not Europa League or that, but I just think injuries happen, they'll fall away. Yeah. Kane will go dry for 3 or 4 games, which happens to everybody.
Yeah.
And that'll be it for their challenge. So I think they'll do better than I thought they will, Tottenham. But I think the top 4, I don't even Everton are playing quite well, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but it's the same situation, and Leicester as well. It's just it's economics rather than anything else. They just don't have the players like United we have to shed some of these players. Everton and Tottenham aren't and Leicester aren't in that situation, so I think that's where they'll fall off.
It does feel like the Leicester train is kind of slowing down. Like last year, it seemed like they've done it. They've broken through. They're one of the bigger teams now.
Yeah.
And as soon as Fofana broke his leg, and then they had to sign They signed was it Vestergaard from Southampton? Who?
Yeah. Johnny Evans as well. I mean, Johnny Evans makes Sechenyu look like fucking. Well, Sechenyu makes Johnny Evans look like Bonucci. honestly. Like they are. That's what I mean. Like the squad is just not there for injuries that happen. So for weaker teams, it's just hard to compete. What about the sack race? Well, who's getting sacked first?
I think it's going to be your boy. Well, I wouldn't say your boy, but I think it's going to be Arteta.
I think so, man. I think he's under less pressure than anyone else in the league. Like if
you think expectations are so low now?
No, I think if he's sacked, like why isn't he? Like we were saying, why isn't he sacked already? What's the hold
Yeah, that's
up?
true. Yeah, that's true.
Like every other team is expected to win except for Arteta, apparently.
Weirdly, as well, I think being bottom 3 games in, it's all up from here. I mean, he can't go lower than bottom. He can't get sacked.
They can lose more games.
Yeah, but he's never going to be 21st.
I mean, no, but like honestly, I just think they're wasting so much time now sacking them.
Yeah,
and the Norwich manager got relegated and got promoted back up. So I think there's kind of like, look, we had a tough start. We'll turn around. They'll give him a long time to, you know, because they know where they're at. Like they're
like if they keep him, they'll probably be up again in 2 years anyway.
Wolves, like 50 shots, no goals. That's just, you know, I mean, at what point? It's a tough situation for Wolves because, like, at what point do they turn on Jimenez? And you know, it's like, hey, no, believe me, I'm happy with anyone to have you back, Jimenez. Believe me,
it's great.
I think you're great. I think you're an inspiration to all the kids. Yeah. But you know, so I think they'll have time as well because, like, everyone will look at that manager like, okay, he came in after Nuno. He's got kind of a squad there. They can't score goals, but they are creating chances. So I think, you know, they're not under as much pressure. Newcastle as well. Steve Bruce has been under pressure since the day he got there. So I don't know, like
he thrives on it. He does not. Like, he is always on the cusp of being sacked. It's no bother to him.
Sean Dyche is not leaving Burnley for love or money or results or anything.
I'd like to see you try take him out of there.
Bielsa isn't leaving Leeds either.
No.
Vieira, Crystal Palace might be one.
Yeah. I think as well, if Everton have a bad string of games, they'll turn on Benitez very quickly. The fans will. So I could see that, but I don't see them being bad enough for him to be sacked. I think he's a good manager. I think he's kind of underrated, to be honest.
Yeah. I think maybe because they had obviously a good draw against West Ham, but I mean, no wins in 3 games, is that right? Yeah, no wins. Vieira, new manager in. I don't know. I think he might go first. I'd fear a bit for Crystal Palace. I don't know how good they are. I don't know how good Patrick Vieira is.
Yeah. Well, let me paint this picture for you, Carl.
Go for it.
Arteta, Vieira sacked in the same week. Who do you think Arsenal get in as manager?
Damn. I mean, I honestly don't know enough about, because, like, you know, you're not, like I said, I'd love to see Conte come in, but we're not shopping in that supermarket as he would say himself. It'll probably be someone who's done well in the French league or the Belgian league, and I don't know enough about those leagues at all to say who would come in. You know, but that's probably who it will be.
Is there any? They could do the. Although I suppose I was going to say they could do the popular thing of just getting an old player, but I forgot that's what Arteta is like the old inexperienced player manager.
Yeah, that's exactly it. You know, the Frank Lampard, the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, like that's what they're in right now. Like, see, like this thing, Chelsea, like, oh, well, this isn't working. Get rid of him. Yeah, you know, like that's why they're successful, because like, they don't fucking hesitate. You know.
Yeah, they're not like they're not nostalgic for anyone because they've no time to be nostalgic.
Like, what Frank Lampard achieved at Chelsea versus what Arteta achieved at Arsenal, like it pales in comparison. But like, you know, it's like, oh, Tuchel's available. He's way better, way more experienced. Yeah, get him in. Yeah. It doesn't matter about Frank Lampard. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because he's better, and results aren't going like they weren't relegation either. They were like, you know, maybe 8th or 7th or 8th at the time. Yeah. You know, but depending on results, you know, the next week they could be in back and forth. But like they're like, no, we don't see it's working. Yeah. So we're going to go for the manager that's available now. Like, you know, when Conte came available there when he left Inter, that's when Arsenal gone, oh, that's a really good manager. We should get him. Yep. It's like, no, we'll see how.
No. I think Tottenham are getting him. Let them do that.
I think this is going to be Gabriel's year. I think he's really going to. You know, we'll see how that pans out first. See how Cedric and the battle of right backs between Cedric and Bellerin goes. You know, let's see.
No. Willian told me he's happy to leave. He said he'll pay to leave.
Yeah, you know, it's that kind of stuff where it's like, I don't know what they're. I really don't know. I think it's probably much more of like a business type situation. Where like, oh no, we'll see how the business kind of plays out this year, rather than like a football team. Like, no, we need to win the next game. You know,
Yeah.
Chelsea feels more like, obviously not that Chelsea run like a business, they are, but it's much more kind of like, there's a better manager than what we have. Let's buy him.
Yeah, you're always improving. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's probably enough Arsenal talk for this episode. But yeah, and what about top scorer? Who's your top scorer? Sure, is Ronaldo going to come in and blow them all away?
I mean, I don't know. It's hard to tell because he doesn't work well with Bruno at Portugal, but
That's true.
so I don't know. And like that would be the main assist getter at United, I'm going to assume. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean Bruno played a bit further back though for Portugal, and
Yeah, he was kind
No.
of in the midfield.
also a manager who's been accused of not knowing what he's doing there. So I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, some bad
But-
omens, are right?
But
Yeah.
it could be. I'm thinking it might be Salah. To be honest, he looks
Yeah,
as good as ever. Hasn't missed a step, and he hasn't got a new contract yet. So he's either playing for a new contract or he's going to be looking for a move. So
yeah,
that's when you want to be top scorer. Like,
yeah. We'll see how it goes, I suppose. We're not taking a week off. We will do another episode next week, but
Yeah.
the Premier League is taking a week off for an international break. Everyone's favorite
Yeah.
time of the season.
it is amazing that they bring the league back for 3 weeks and then go, nah, let's take a break.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
fucking do the international break earlier or later. It's so dumb.
Yeah, and I mean for us, we get to see Ronaldo play for the first time since he left Juve, but for Portugal against us.
A Ronaldo who has been talked a lot about in the media the last week as being past it, too old, not who he used to be. I'm sure he's gonna be ripping out there against Ireland.
Yeah, something he loves to hear and loves to fucking react to in a way of. He usually scores goals. But look, maybe it's the same Portugal shambles team who scores lots of goals.
I don't know if you saw, he is one international goal away from being the all-time top international goal scorer ever for any team, and he's playing Ireland next. So
And if anything, he loves is breaking records, personal records.
that is his whole shtick.
Not that every waking moment he isn't motivated to win, but he doesn't need anything else. But he does. He has lots of motivation this time.
I think he doesn't want to win trophies. I think he wants to win trophies so that he wins Ballon d'Ors. I think that's his thing.
Yeah, it's like a pyramid scheme of like I'm just trying to win games so that I can fund my Ballon d'Ors.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's next week. We're playing Portugal. Is it European qualifiers or World Cup qualifiers?
World Cup qualifier.
This is the
yeah.
Qatar qualifiers, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, I think we're not doing too great there. We'd need a result against Portugal, which seems unlikely, but you never know. We'll talk more about that next week, I suppose. England are playing as well. Patrick Bamford got his first call up, as we mentioned,
For the wrong team.
for the wrong team. Look, he doesn't want to play for Ireland, and that's fine. Enjoy the bench.
Yeah.
Don't get any splinters. 'Cause
Hope you don't miss any penalties anytime soon.
yeah, I know. No, I'm happy for Patrick, to be fair. I mean,
Yeah.
he deserves it. Too little too late for me, but that was probably about it then. Will, was there anything else that we kind of missed out on? I mean,
No, Mbappe is talking up a big game about leaving.
Yeah.
And lots of big deals and offers coming in. Very oddly, he has 1 year left on his contract at PSG, and Madrid offered him 170 million euro.
yeah.
Are they not broke?
I don't know how I think I did read a thing. It was that apparently they have 200 million in credit line. Real Madrid do.
Right.
Plus they have savings. They were saving for a rainy day. I guess they probably knew how they were spending themselves. So this isn't going to last forever, lads.
Yeah.
And they'd made a bit of money from Odegaard and Varane. Plus they got the wages of Ramos and Varane off the books.
Yeah.
So they're not completely broke. They weren't going fucking buying new Galacticos this summer. But I think when Mbappe came about, I mean, that is the Real Madrid model. It's like the Galacticos model, the superstar model. Like, who's their superstar now?
Yeah, they don't really like Hazard, I guess.
Hazard, who's not playing well. Bale, who's not playing well. Benzema, who's not the perfect guy with his
not a good role model exactly.
with his previous media exposure. He's not the ideal guy. I mean, Modric and Kroos are just kind of like, and again, that's their bad players, but they are kind of yesterday's kind of
Yeah,
Pepsi ads, if you know what I mean.
yeah.
So like Mbappe would be perfect for him. Like he would make them money. By being with them. Like that crazy thing before about when Ronaldo was getting paid. He was paying Real Madrid more than they were paying him because they were getting 10% of his image rights.
Fuck.
So they were paying him like over 200 grand a week at the time, and they were getting more than that off his image rights with Nike, with all the other endorsements.
Yeah.
So that is Real Madrid way. So they need someone like Mbappe to say, this is, Real Madrid, this is the kind of stars that we have here. And then along with the Benzemas and the Modric's and the Kroos's and all those players, like, they're a savage team and we have superstars. So it's always been the Real Madrid way. I think it's probably important for their business model to have something like that at the club.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know why
it seems weird you can't
want to sell that. We want to sell it.
And it seems like, why can't you just wait a year and get him on a free? Like, he's very young. He's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So it just seems odd to just spend. Although I suppose on a free sounds good, but then there's like when you're factoring signing bonuses and then you need bigger wages and things like that. It probably works out the same as just giving him the money now. So
yeah. So I mean, he scored 2 goals there at the weekend for them, for PSG. They had Neymar, Di Maria, and Di Maria up front, and then Messi came on. So maybe there's a bit of that too. It's like, well, we're going to play Messi,
Yeah.
So that means you're kind of taking a backward step here. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I can see why Real Madrid would want him, but I don't see why PSG would sell him.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, I don't think about anything else now. Was there anything else?
Just the update on the bandwagon. Big first episode of BandWagon Wheel.
Yeah, disaster again. Yeah, well, we a friend of ours said we should do Greece because of St. Pat. So you know who you are. Thanks for this. No, I'm messing. But like, we were looking at the Greek league, and that was when they start same week as the Premier League, and there's not a lot of coverage on the Greek league. And we don't speak Greek, so we can't look at the Greek websites. Ancient or otherwise, we don't speak it. So we're looking at it, and it says, it's actually the 21st, or the 28th and 29th when the Greek league starts. So that was, the weekend just gone. So, perfect, grand. Then I look at the results to see what happened, and TBD. Oh, they're all like, the games aren't playing. And then I was like, what's going on with this Greek league? And I found an article, and there's a dispute over TV rights. Half the teams are happy with this, and the other half, which they call the homeless teams, aren't happy with this. I guess they
really do call them the homeless teams.
No, really they do. I mean, Astromitis, our boys, are one of the rich boys in it, because we're a big club. We always have been, always will be.
Yep.
So we're happy with the deal, which I'm assuming probably screws those small teams.
There's definitely something bad about the deal
that we're 100% behind. And I think they need a 2/3 majority in the Greek league to pass this deal, and it's literally split down the middle. There's 14 teams in it, 7 for, 7 against. So
I'm not giving a cent of my money to that homeless.
Absolutely not. We earn that money, our history as a club. You come back to when you fucking, do what we've done in the Greek league, whatever that is. So, we're at an impasse here, boys. We don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I guess we'll keep you posted. They'll play it eventually, I'm sure. I think
the strike continues.
The strike continues. We are the rich factory owners who are keeping the workers out, though, which isn't great. But look, like I say, we've earned our position in this life.
Is the bandwagon wheel cursed? Is that the problem?
Well, we'll see how.
We injured Hilly Lakbanar.
No, we didn't.
Euros.
That was
right before the Euros. He got the call up, then injured. Turkey were awful, and now this. I think it's us.
No, we don't have any overpower of these things. We're just unfortunate in who we pick. We'll give it another week, lads. We'll give it another week for the bandwagon wheel, and then we'll have to abandon Greece, just like the EU did way back when, and we'll go somewhere else. Yep. But for now, it's postponed. But we literally have no idea what's going on. We have so little clue how this is going to be solved, if at all. So yeah,
I don't even know what the problem is.
something to do with money. I mean, what's new? It's football, you know. And at the end of the day, it's called the Greek Super League. So what do you expect?
Yeah.
No, honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense. But listen, I've been on that road before.
Nonsense. Talking nonsense. Why should we accept somebody talking nonsense? Like, what would you say? Just why are you talking nonsense about us? Why are you talking rubbish?